All right, what's up, guys? We're still here in Belgrade in my apartment, but again, the purpose of this channel and everything moving forward, it's mostly just going to be me talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, all the above about SMMA and my journey over the last 4 or so months. And in this video, we're going to be covering 3 lessons I've learned through SMMA, and let's get right into it. The first is actually care. Actually care about your clients. And in the beginning of my journey, I had a distaste in my mouth for the 0 to 10, 0 to 20K per month framework because it really just put a sole focus on the money as opposed to the people who we're working with. And I reframed that in my mind to 0 to 10 clients who actually care and are actually content with the work that you're doing for them. And you're actually making a difference in their lives, and you're allowing the money to open up freedoms and new possibilities to them because they are humans just like you who have families and need to provide for their families. And so change the frame about how you perceive things and actually care, right? Actually give a shit about these people because it's really important when it comes to client managing and relationships that you actually care because you don't want to seem fake, right? And you can only wear a mask for so long, and people can tell when you're being salesy, when you're not being genuine, and when you're full of shit, honestly. Because these contractors or anybody in this space, you can see right through people, and it doesn't take a long time to see right through people. I mean, within 5 to 10 minutes, you can know if someone's full of shit, and you just want to be genuine. Just be yourself, actually care, show an interest because you always want to be outward directed. And yes, of course, it is about you and growing your company. But when you're dealing with clients, when they give you thousands of dollars and they might be they might slightly be going through buyer remorse, you have to care and you have to be attentive to their emotions and tell them that everything's okay. Because when it does come to managing clients and or managing emotions, which is a little bit more difficult, you have to be on top of everything and you have to be genuine and you can't wear a mask, and you just have to be you while also talking positive because I believe the human condition is the human default condition is misery, and it's easier to be negative than positive, right? Hence, exactly why we overvalue our losses and undervalue our wins, right? Like when you go to the casino and you lose $500, you're pissed. I mean, you're not moving for your bed, for a day or two. But if you win the $500, it's like, whatever, I won $500. So managing emotions is a little bit more difficult, but this all starts with actually caring. I mean, if you're just a piece of shit and you don't care about anyone and you're just doing it for the money, good luck sustaining a long-term business that's going to have recurring clients because you don't want to churn these people either, right? You want to keep your churn rate under 5%, 10% max. And if you have a low churn rate, it shows a lot about you and how you're actually dealing with the people and managing them and who you are as a person, more importantly. So actually care about your clients, right? Also, care about your work. And this also goes hand in hand with don't follow your passion. I think following your passion is one of the biggest myths. For example, we all have passions, but it's pretty hard to monetize them. For those that do monetize them, that's great. If you build skills over time and you eventually monetize them, if you want to travel the world and you're a video content creator, that's great. You can, of course, monetize that. But in the beginning, if you don't really have a head start in anything and you want to start SMMA, have high, sincere effort in what you're doing. And the passion is going to come over time, right? Now, for this point, the passion is going to come over time. And this is only going to come over time, right? You have to get started with something. And when people say follow your passions, most people don't really know what their passions are, but this actually starts with doing things, right? And so you have to do things over time, and sooner or later, you're going to see what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you like, what you don't like, and you have to pay attention to those emotions. So the passion is going to come over time with whatever you're doing. But I know for me, when it comes to the agency space, I wasn't super excited about starting a marketing agency. Like, yeah, it was cool and exciting, but I found passion to come with sales and media buying and building a team and being creative and dealing with people and managing them. And I found my passion in that a couple months into everything. But you have to bear the negative feelings in the beginning, and then once you kind of take off into cruising altitude, things are a lot better and sustainable, and you start to develop a lot more passion there. And the longer you have in any profession, you're going to develop a deep sense of course, professionalism, but passion that comes with it, right? So care about your clients, care about the work that you're doing. Let's see, for actually caring, right? And yeah, actually care about the people around you. Now, as you continue to grow your agency, you're going to have people that you're going to bring on board. You're going to hire fast but fire faster, and you have to put time into these people. Now, when it comes to hiring setters or when it comes to hiring client success managers, finding talent is tough. Finding real talent is tough. And for example, in my experience, I've burned through several dozen setters, and I have a couple now, and those people have stuck with me. But the point is, you're going to burn through 5 to 6 setters for every maybe one or two good ones. And so when you do find those good ones, invest time into them. Invest time into them, because what you put in is what you're going to get out. And if you put time into these people and not just ask them about the work, but everything else going on in their life outside of work, they're going to feel so much more of a sense of community, and they're going to be more involved emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that's extremely important. And it all goes hand in hand with actually giving a crap about the people who you work with, the people who are around you. I know my setters, I talk to them pretty much on a daily basis, and I ask them how they're doing outside of work. How's school going? How's your side hustle going? How's your actual, your main job hustle going? How's your family? Are you traveling? What are you doing? Pay attention to these people, because you're going to be amazed at what people tell you if you shut up and listen. Sales, building a team, you're going to be amazed at what people tell you if you shut up. People are interesting. And if you don't have a sense of curiosity, a sense of genuine curiosity in people, good luck long-term networking, building a team, because if you don't care about people, you're screwed. And people are going to see that, and they're going to leave because they think you're a shitty person, and that's all on you. Now, honestly, people are the way they are, right? Like over time, you continue to develop your personality, and it only deepens. And if you're shitty with people, if you're not a good person, why would anyone want to work with you? Why? So actually care. Stop avoiding the truth. In the beginning of my agency, I basically wasn't putting the work in that I wanted to. I wasn't putting the work in, and I was expecting some sort of outcome, right? I was expecting an outcome that I didn't deserve. I thought that cold calling 100 people was enough, and I continued to question if this was worth it. Actually care about the truth, because the truth set you free, right? And in the beginning of your company, or even now, or even if you're at 20, 30K a month, you have to always understand and be open to the truth, because the truth will set you free. And it's hard, right? People keep things foggy and cloudy, and they hide the truth because the truth hurts. And who the hell wants to hear the truth about their situation if it's shit, right? I mean, if I was living a pretty shitty life, I wouldn't want anyone to tell me why I'd be living a shitty life. And so for you personally watching this, if you're doing 50 cold calls, that's not enough. If you're doing 50 cold calls and you're expecting to get 5 clients a month and you're doing 50 cold calls a day, that's not enough. It's all volume when it comes to marketing. If the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. And so stop avoiding the truth. Always, always, always understand what you're doing. Be super, super self-aware and conscious of it. And never put the truth in the fog, because it's only going to hurt you. And you have to always, always, always hold yourself accountable and responsible for everything in your life. If you're not where you want to be, dig deep. I mean, honestly, do a little bit of soul searching. But I just never hid from the truth from like 2 months into my company. But before then, it was a lot of truth that I was hiding and I was avoiding because it was scary. And I didn't want to blame myself for the failure that I was, for the repeat failure and inconsistency that I was having in my company. And, sometimes when I have burned through a client, I have turned a client or two. And in the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing when it comes to media buying, managing clients. And I thought it was their fault. I really did, because I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the skills. And I blamed them for a short time, but I'm always pretty conscious of that. And so I decided to flip it, blame it on myself. And, it set me free, because you invest in yourself and you believe in yourself long term. But stop avoiding from the truth. Stop avoiding the truth. That's one of the most important things here. And the third thing is believe and invest in yourself. Read books. Don't just buy them and let them sit. Read books, buy courses, buy mentorships, because I want to be where I'm at without any of those. And if you're if you're the type of person to think that a course or a mentorship or paying 5 grand for a mentor is out of this world and crazy, then have fun being your situation. I really don't care. That type of mindset is contagious and it's hard to break out of it. So if you're that type of person to believe that spending a couple $1,000 on a program is not worth it, cool. Enjoy that situation. So also half the battle is mental. Now you're going to have more negatives than positives when growing. More negatives than positives when growing. And you have to be ready to handle the pressure from the world. And again, we overvalue negatives. So that's why when you get into a rut, you stay in a rut, and you really have to be careful with things of that sort, because sometimes you won't be able to catch yourself and you're just going to dig yourself a hole even deeper and deeper and deeper. But the world is cold. It's a cold world out there, and that's the truth, right? Most people think that, oh, everything's nice, everyone's my friend. Oh, everyone's, super optimistic. No, I mean, maybe to a certain extent, but the world is cold. It's going to crush you. It's going to hurt you. And if you're not ready to resist, and if you're not ready to fight back, then it's just going to take you, and you're just going to be going with the wind, quite honestly, especially if you're starting your own company. If you're working in sales for a company, I'd be slightly a little bit less pressure. But when you're running a company and you're doing everything yourself, and you're really starting from the ground up, and you have to build the team, do all the media buying, find talent, fire, manage people, it gets tough. It gets tough, and you have to be ready to endure all of this, because if you don't, then you're just going to crawl back to where you were in life, right? The regression of the mean. It's so easy to fall back into old temptations, but you have to continue to kill your old self and continue growing. And that's another part. Kill your old self. Again, half the battle is the mindset part, and you have to kill your old self. Joe Dispenza is an absolute legend. He talks about basically rewiring the neurons and the neurons in your brain, because the neuroplasticity in our brains, it's so malleable, and you could basically rewire your brain in less than 4 or 5 days to a week if you do it consistently, and there's a way to do it. So look into Joe Dispenza. When I was killing my old self, and when I was trying to really like hypnotize myself into getting work done, into believing that I am making 50K a month, and adapting to the personality of that individual, it was tough, because the regression of the means was there, and having to fall back to old habits was such a temptation. But you have to put yourself in the right environment. You have to continue to do mental workouts like Joe Dispenza talks about on a consistent basis, because if you don't, you're going to fall back and slip. And again, once you slip, you're going to dig yourself a hole, and it's so hard to get out of. So believe in yourself 100%. Half the battle is mental, and you have to believe that you are the best. You are the best at what you do. Even if you're not, it's not going to hurt you to believe that you are the best at what you do. And when you're on a sales call, you have to portray conviction, because sales is a game of energy transfer. And I've sold several clients just because of how much conviction I had in my voice. And they said to me over the phone, they were like, Marco, I've been burned before, but you sound confident. I'll give you a shot. Let's do it. And I've sold 2 people just purely based off of confidence. Now, of course, conviction and believe in myself is also happening over the sales calls, and that's also why I'm able to close. But those 2 people deliberately said over the phone, this is pretty much one of the few reasons that I'm going to be working with you, but just the conviction, right? So believe that you're the best, because people like confidence. I mean, think about it logically. Would you rather buy from someone? Would you rather give thousands of dollars to someone who's super confident and cocky, almost cocky at what they're going to be able to do for you, or somebody who's pretty shy, timid? Like, just thinking about the extremes of both sides, why not just be on the confident side? It makes no sense not to be. Let's see. So absolutely believe in yourself in the fullest, and you can do anything, because the truth is you can. Like, you really can. And it might be scary. It might be scary to accept that you can make 100K a month. And that might be scary to some, like a few money figures in my mind are quite scary to me. But through time, through just collecting more evidence of the type of person that I know I am, whether it's like working out or making more money, signing more clients, getting actual results, that number is going to feel less scary over time, if that makes sense. Let's see. But that's pretty much it. Now, again, the purpose of the channel is to give as much value as I can to you guys. And I hope this video helps. These lessons are definitely applicable to yourself. And it's just going to be, me talking from here on out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And that's really cool. I don't care, honestly. But that's pretty much bottom line. I hope this helps a little bit. 3 lessons. But the most important thing I would say out of these are the mindset. The mindset's the most important because you really have to believe in yourself. And sales is not easy. It's tough. And who was the gentleman that said it? That if you didn't piss someone off by 12 p.m., you're not you're not marketing hard enough, right? And you're going to run into a bunch of shitty people, and you're going to get pretty much 20, 30 no's to every yes, maybe even more, honestly. But the clients that we do have, they're great people, and we want to serve those people in the highest regard as possible. So actually care about your people, about yourself, about the work that you're doing. Number 2, stop avoiding the truth. People like to keep things in the cloud, and that's why their situations remain the same. But for you, be aware of that, put the work in, know how much you're doing, know the inputs, and be honest with yourself. Do a week or 2 weeks of work, look back, reflect, analyze, and be like, I'm not where I want to be, and I did this amount of work. It didn't yield me this result, and so I need to put in more work, and that's it. Just do that. And the third, believe in invest in yourself. It's not about the money. Put money into shit, and you're going to learn something from everyone. I've spent thousands of dollars on things, and I have zero regrets. I bought a course from these 2 guys, and I learned a few things. I learned 2 or 3 things, but those 2 or 3 things have helped me long term out of the entire course. And that's it. That's it, guys. So if you like it, you like it. I hope I give you guys some value here. But that's pretty much it, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cool.